Okay, we've got a good one today. Inside of these boxes is an incredibly capable and surprisingly affordable sim setup, and we're gonna build it today.
And not only are we gonna show you how to build this super budget sim, but when we're all finished, we're gonna pack it all back up and send it to one of you.
Right, you heard that correctly, what Mike said. We are going to give this entire package away to one of you guys. It is gonna be completely free to enter, and we'll tell you how to enter in just a few minutes. But first, I wanna get this all laid out, show you guys what we have here, because like I said, I think not only do we have a really good sim here for the price, but I also wanna talk about something that not enough people talk about when you're building golf simulators, and that's just how modular they can be and how you can kind of adapt them and grow them over time. And this one is a perfect example of a great place to start for that. All right, guys, so we've got everything neatly laid out here, and I'm gonna take you through all the components in just a second. One thing I will tell you that I'm absolutely loving seeing is just how well labeled everything is. I can tell you from firsthand experience that saves a lot of time putting everything together. And what we've done here on the channel before, we've built all different types of sims. Everything from your budget pop-up sims to recently I built an entire simulator in my garage and all the space requirements that come with that. And we've even done fully custom sim builds. We did one for a friend of ours in his house. So we've had a lot of experience putting these things together. And again, one thing that I want to keep coming back to, and we're going to talk a lot about here, is how sometimes if you've got the idea of wanting to build a home simulator, but you may not yet have the budget for your dream sim, well, something like this is a great place to start, because not only is this on the super budget end, we'll talk about the cost because it is highly affordable, but more importantly, there's a lot of components to this type of build that become very modular, and it's something that you can build over time, which we like to see. So you may want to start here, at least to get you hitting and you've got something to hit with, and then down the road you can scale it up with a bunch of add-ons, which we'll show you and talk about in just a second. But first, let me take you through everything we've got here and show you what we've got, and then we're gonna start putting it together. All right, we've got everything neatly laid out here so you can see it. First and most importantly, we've got our tech, our launch monitor. I'm gonna get back to that because there's a lot to talk about there. But moving over here, we've got everything that we need to build out our net. It's quite robust, as you can see. And like I said, very well labeled. And then what goes on the net is our impact screen. That's what you have right there. That's where we're gonna project our image and make it a true simulator. And then here we've got our hitting mat, really nice size overall. And then when this all comes together, it's gonna pop up, and then we've got even little extras here like a target if we need it. Of course, our most important thing, our instructions. So let's get into it and start building this thing.
All right, so before Frank takes you through the technology, I think the most important place to start is building this net. So let's take everything out of here. Again, love that it's fully labeled. It should make it pretty easy.
As we get this net out of its packaging, it also brings up a really important point here, and that is really kind of what you get, what you pay for. I know there's a lot of like stuff out there you can see like on Amazon and otherwise that can end up being not only inexpensive, but also really flimsy. There's also some good finds out there, but it really comes down to identifying stuff that is going to, stand the test of time. What I do like about this particular net is that everything here is really robust. It is heavy weighted steel. So not only will it stay put when you're hitting golf balls into it, but it's gonna last you quite a while, especially like I said, if it's something that you're gonna build upon, over the years and keep growing, you wanna make sure you're getting something good. So it all comes down to that balance of price and real quality. And Mike, this stuff's pretty good.
It is.
Pretty legit.
I will say this is one of the easier ones we built. Right?
Yeah, this one's nice.
Yeah.
This one's a walk in the park. All right, we've got the bulk of the net up, and a couple of really quick things here. One, elapsed time there is probably about 20 minutes. Like I said, this is no just small little pop-up net. It is pretty robust. So it took a little bit of time to get everything together and get the net over it. But the one thing I do like about this is the size. This is definitely something that is small enough still to fit in a place like a garage, but big enough to feel more like a sim. And you'll see that even more when we add the impact screen for the projection in just a second. But there's another thing you might have noticed there, Mike and I working together, we say this all the time when we build these sims, is if you can grab a buddy to help you out with it, it definitely makes it easier. I think I could have probably done this by myself. Mike could have done it by himself, but doing it together saves us a lot of time. And trust me, you're building a sim in your garage, you're gonna probably make a lot of friends who wanna help you out because they wanna use the sim when it's set up. So we got the bulk of it here. We're just gonna kind of put some finishing touches on it, and then we're gonna move on to the next piece. All right, so the next step is going to be to add this impact screen. But before I do, this is a perfect opportunity to talk about how this can be so modular, like I mentioned before. So if you're really on a budget and you want to start small, there is the option to order this package without the impact screen. And what you can do is you can effectively hit balls into this net. You can use an iPad or one other type of device like your phone to see your launch monitor, to see your data, and you can use it like that as its own separate sim. You don't necessarily need to add projection, but you can also just start there and add this later. They do sell the impact screen separate. So again, if you want to start on a real budget, it is super affordable to be able to do this with just this really robust net and the square launch monitor, which again, like I said, we're gonna get into and talk about the specifics of that in a second, but that is a great starting point. Otherwise, if you wanna go to more of that immersive simulator experience, you can then add this. Keep in mind though, you will also have to add a projector. So it is kind of piecing it together little by little, but like I said, it's a great way to do it on a budget, or it's a great way to do it a little bit each year as you slowly build out your simulator. So now we're gonna get this attached. It's really simple. It's got these grommets on there, and we have these elastic little attachment points that we're gonna use to attach it up there, and then we'll be able to see what that looks like, throw a projector on there, and it's really gonna start to look like a legit simulator. All right, that popped up in about 3 minutes. In a second, we're gonna talk about the actual tech. We're gonna get that set up. And then importantly, we're gonna talk about the giveaway and how you guys can enter. And it's a good segue to say, we're kind of just putting this up real quick. Of course, it's because we're gonna take it right back down in a few minutes to send it to you guys. I would say if you're putting this up, you could spend a little bit more time evening everything out, really pulling it tight. But the grommet system does work really well. It also does come with this target system that you can also mount if you want, just for practice, even without using the launch monitor, hitting into different targets here, chipping into different targets. So there's a lot of good stuff there. And then of course, I also want to address this hitting mat really quickly. We've actually done entire videos on how to upgrade this, which I will link to. But again, I'm really kind of building that understanding that sometimes, you know, just having a sim and getting started is better than waiting until you can afford some of that more premium, high budget stuff. So I think what's good about this particular mat, and we've tried all different mats, is it falls somewhere in the middle. You know, there are some really flimsy mats out there that honestly, and we talked about this in that other video, you use them too long, you are gonna end up hurting your wrist, elbows, things like that. This one has a pretty decent thickness out of the gate. It's got some softness to it, some give to it. It's by no way what I would say an ultra premium mat, but it's a good starting point. And then if you do look to upgrade, you can see kind of what we've done here in our studio sim. That's a whole custom one that we did. Like I said, I'll link to that video. But again, just find a place to get started. This is a great starting point. And so far, everything you've seen us build here and add to this, we're still under $1,500, and that includes with the launch monitor. So it's like I said, it's a great place to start, and I could see this fitting really well into someone's garage. All right, so now let's talk about the tech itself that's included in this bundle, because at the end of the day, this is something that I've always referred to as the brains of the system. And for this one, we're gonna be using the Square Golf launch monitor. Now, I won't dig in too deep on that right here because we've done many videos on the Square, which I'll link to. We've done everything from showing its features to testing its accuracy, and hands down, it really hit the market by surprise last year and quickly leapfrogged to being one of really the most popular indoor launch monitors on the market. In fact, to a point where it was completely sold out everywhere. There was a lot of buzz and a lot of attention around the Square, and for good reason. One, it really helps you be able to build a budget setup like this because the Square itself comes in right around $800. And on top of that, it has no subscription fees. That is really important of keeping your overall budget down. Now, like I said, I've talked about this in previous videos. There are some additional costs here and there with the Square, like buying additional credits for simulated golf. But for all the base features, there's no subscription fees. And speaking of those base features, there's a lot of great stuff that you get in the Square, including not only ball data, but also club data. And one sneaky, really good place that the Square really outperforms a lot of launch monitors in the price range is with putting. In fact, I know some people who have bought the Square just to work on their putting because you get some really great data out of it. But also built in, of course, is simulation. You've got golf courses, you get a whole lot with it. So that's what we're using for this build. One thing I will say though, it is for indoor use only, the Square, but again, I'm assuming that you are building this for an indoor setup. Now, also going along with that, we've got this Ironclad Projector, which is great to not only protect your investment with having the launch monitor itself going in here. This is made of steel. So if you do happen to, I hate to use the dirty word, shank one into the unit, this is gonna protect it. But what I really like about it is it's got these feet which allow it to level it with the hitting surface. So you can keep it really level. In fact, there's even a level adjustment right on it. So again, this goes back to, like I said, piecemealing, making it modular, adding additional components as you have the budget and resources to do so. And this is a great one to definitely add in there. So we're gonna throw this one in as well for our giveaway. But now let's get that Square all set up. Let's talk about that projector and show you hitting a couple of balls into this really cool budget setup. All right, guys, now you can see it. Everything has come together. And let's talk a couple things. First of all, let's talk about price, because we mentioned earlier about this being such a great starter sim setup. And really, if you're on a budget, this is a great place to start. And the nice thing is everything that you see here, including that impact screen, the hitting mat, the net, all that from SimSpace, and in addition, with the Square launch monitor, still comes in, believe it or not, at under $1,500. So it's an excellent place to start. And the other thing I know you guys are wondering is about the giveaway. How do you enter? Because in a second, Mike and I are gonna break this entire thing down, pack it up, and get it ready to ship off to one of you. And here's how we're gonna do this. We recently launched, and it's really exciting. Mike and I have been stoked about this since launching just towards the end of last year, but we launched our brand new community, the No Bad Days Golf Society. Of course, that being our motto. If we're out here playing golf, there are no bad days. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna randomly pick one member from the community, and you're going to be the winner of this entire setup. The best part is it's completely free to join the No Bad Days Golf Society. So I will drop the link below so that you can go ahead and get signed up for that. And also make sure you join our free Discord, because that is going to be the one and only place where we are going to announce the winner of this setup. And the other reason you're gonna wanna join too is because in the Discord, we've got some great conversations going, talking about home setups with people sharing their pictures, sharing advice, asking questions. It is a great place to continue the conversation. So make sure that you guys join the society. And remember, we're gonna be announcing our winner 1 month from today. Now, the last little bit that I will mention here, one thing that does not come with this setup is a projector. And I've been talking since the beginning of this video about the idea of kind of piecemealing it and having a great starting point, which is what I think this is, and being able to add on as you go. The other thing with projectors, keep in mind, it's very dependent on your space and where you're mounting it. We will do more videos in the future talking about projectors, but for this particular giveaway, Mike and I happen to have an extra projector sitting around, so we're gonna throw that in there. So if you're our winner, you're gonna get a projector as well. For now, we've just gotta kind of get it temporarily set up just to give you an idea of what it's gonna look like. But once you've got it mounted and nail that aspect ratio, it's gonna look really good. So like I said, this is a great place to start. If you're on a super budget, you're looking for something where you can just start hitting balls, whether that be in your garage or a spare room, definitely give this one a look. I think it's a lot of value for that price, under 1,500 bucks. And make sure you guys get registered for the community. We will announce our winner in 1 month. Good luck.